External variables. In this lesson, we will discuss external variables. They have the opposite behavior of the automatic variables. We can write a C program which is connected to multiple files. Then it can be necessary to use the variables which are defined in another file. In this case, we can use a global variable which is prefixed by the extern keyword in the other files. As we discussed earlier, the external variables can be used in any function or any C programming file. Let's see the program for external variables. Here, I used two C programming files. You can now see them, named main file C and function file C. So let me explain clearly. In the first file, we've included function file C, which is a newly created header file. We'll discuss more about creating header files in upcoming lessons. If you can see inside the main function, we declared an extern variable called myVar. It can be accessed from one C program to another. Now the value of 500 is assigned to myVar. Here we call the print value function, which is defined in the functions file C, and so the control goes to a second file. After including stdio.h header file, we declared an integer variable called myVar. Here, inside the print value function, we increment the value of myVar and display them simultaneously. Once it is completed, then the control will go to the main function, i.e. main_file.c. Here we just print the value of myVar variable. For your better understanding, let's execute these programs. First, go to function file.c program. Compile the program using Alt F9. And once it is finished, click on OK. Then come back to the main file.c program. Compile this program by pressing Alt F9 key. When it is completed, click the OK button and then run the code using the Control F9 key, and here we can see the results. Now you are able to understand about external variables. The static and register variables. In this lesson, we are going to discuss static and register variables. First, we'll talk about static variables. A variable can be declared static using the static keyword. The static variables may be either an internal type or an external type, depending on the place of declaration. A static variable is initialized only once, when the program is compiled. It is never initialized again. Let's discuss this with an example which clearly shows static variables. In this example code, we call an ASCII function for 3 times. The first time calling of ASCII function, the variable ch initializes as 65. Then print the value as 65 in the screen, and it will be incremented by 1. Now the value of ch variable is 66. The control will be transferred to the main function. Again, we invoke the ASCII function. The variable ch will not be reinitialized. It remains 66 and prints in the screen. The same process will be performed in third calling of ASCII function. To test this code, let's compile the code by pressing Alt F9. When the compilation is finished, click on OK, and then run the code using Control F9. Here is the output. Here you can realize the use of static variables. But now, let's discuss the register variables. They are similar to the automatic variables, but register variables are maintained in registers of the CPU. If you want to declare a variable as a register, you must use the keyword register. We can say to the compiler that a variable should be maintained in one of the registers of the machine, instead of maintaining it in the memory where normal variables are stored. Since accessing the register is much faster than memory access, to maintain the variables frequently accessed in the register will carry out a faster execution of the programs. So now, you have an idea about the static and register variables.